Hey there folks, Champesti here, bringing another audio commentary, and today we have a very exciting game between Fly and Infi. This is from the G League finals actually, so very exciting game to be casting for you. And what's more, it's on Lost Temple. I mean, how often do you see that map? Almost never, because it's a ridiculous map. It's actually it's sort of terrible for most matchups, but actually this is Orc versus Human, and the big gripe people have with Lost Temple is there's no Tavern, obviously, but Tavern heroes don't really play a huge role in this matchup. Maybe if we go to a late game, which is very likely actually, considering how big the map is and how easy it is to take locations, you might see a Golden Alchemist third for an Orc, or occasionally even now they'll go for Panda second if they want to put on a lot of pressure. That works really well in maps like Melting Valley, but I don't think that's would be too common here. Were there to be a Tavern, I think a Golden Alchemist third might be a bit more popular, but certainly a very exciting map because we almost never see it and everyone knows it. I think if you started playing Warcraft 3 in the Reign of Chaos days, this was the map. I mean, it's just such a classic map. But to the game, looks like we're going to be seeing an Archmage first from Infi and a Blade Master first from Fly. No surprises there, although actually Farseers do work quite well on this map. I've seen Grubby put them to great use. Infi with a really weird base build here. I'm wondering actually if he meant to put this farm one spot up and then he could put his barracks in a much more reasonable location, but because he accidentally misplaced this farm, he didn't want to cancel it, so he did this sort of botch job instead. I'm not sure, maybe this was his planned build, but it looks a bit sort of not very nice. And if you kill this one farm, it has a large surface area, so raiders can get around it. Then your the peasant line is quite exposed. I don't know what Infi's big plan was. Certainly, you can just put up another farm here, and it'll all be fine. And obviously, classic Lost Temple thing is just putting up this one farm in this then nice scouting position here. You can do that. Ooh, I like this actually. You can see Fly putting this voodoo lounge here, so it means he can go creep out these creeps here, and then as he runs off to go harass Infi, he can pick up some items. I like that. And Infi doing the classic human thing where he's going to creep this out. This is just such a classic map, because obviously this is the Reign of Chaos version as well. It isn't the Frozen Throne version. It just brings back such good memories. And you can creep this out so easily, get your level 2, and then you can get going, and you can set up an expansion very simply. And Archmage picking up a wonderful illusion. Have the drops been changed for this map? I think they have been. That's interesting actually. I didn't know that they that G League had done that, but apparently, I mean, they definitely have their own maps. They put some nice ads on it, but they've changed the drops as well. And it looks like both players have gotten ones of illusions, and that's a pretty good. I think they've changed the drops at least. I'm pretty sure they used to be level 2 permanent items, but again, it's been a long time since I've actually played this map. And the Archmage now level 2, gonna do some creeping. It's interesting actually that Fly went to creep this camp, because you can do other creeping as well. You can go to the middle, creep this camp, and then creep this camp, and that gets you. That's some pretty nice creeping as well. And Infi now could be able to scout out with this illusion, and gonna be doing some creeping here. And looks like Fly gonna be maybe going for some harassment. He'll know that this is an illusion. Basically, is actually, well, as soon as he sees it run into his base, he knows that the Archmage wouldn't do that. But if he had seen it earlier, he would have seen that there were 2 charges on that wand of illusion that fake the fake Archmage had, and so Infi would have been almost certain that was a fake one before even having done damage to it. But meanwhile, this is just going to allow Infi to do a bit of scouting, a bit of just sort of slowing Fly down a bit, making him respond to that, or at the very least just giving Infi the information. Who's now setting up this expansion with no towers at this point, though I'm sure we'll see some towers that's going up to defend it soon. And a nice harassment here, bringing in these grunts, but Infi actually micros that one peasant back perfectly, and gets that second one out as well. Nice. And looks like he's going for a block here. Will he manage to get the block on this grunt? This grunt's going behind the gold mine. Will he be able to get out? Looks like one water until running up, and the Blade Master finally running back into this battle. Does have a boots now, so he went shopping. It's actually quite interesting to go shopping on this map. We'll talk about that later. And it looks like we have this one peasant being finally taken down, and is now setting up a tower as well, so Infi gonna try and get some defenses up. Illusions being used quite nicely here by Fly to actually get a bit of blocking off. Actually, Infi being a bit careless and accidentally focusing the illusion with his water elemental, which is just a bit lost DPS. And but the sort of Infi does know which is the fake one, which is the real one, and so it looks like Fly's gonna get at least one more kill here and be able to get out of there. And it looks like now, he's gonna go for this Archmage. He does get the block off with the grunt, but it's not quite enough, and this Archmage will manage to get away. And actually the boots are here, so it looks like Infi's gonna be in a bit of trouble, but I mean, he'll probably be able to run around, maybe get to the Fountain of Health, and we'll have to see if Fly. Ooh, actually, Fly pulling back. Looks like he wants to do more harassment here. That might be a good choice. This tower hasn't finished yet, but it is an arcane tower, and that the Blade Master does have 230 mana, so you really don't want to blow all your mana just taking out a couple peasants. And it looks like Infi maybe gonna be able to keep Fly away. I'm not entirely sure. And it looks like, yeah, we're gonna be seeing some creeping by Infi as well. And ooh, I like this Intel logo actually. I like how they've made it sort of three-dimensional there. That's quite interesting. Normally the sort of graphics that they put on these maps are quite poorly done, like this one, where it just sort of overlaps the town hall quite inelegantly, but I like that one there. And it looks like this Blade Master now going to go back and go try and hunt down this Archmage yet again. Archmage should probably go do some shopping, and actually while I'm talking about it, shopping on this map is so interesting, because you can do it, even though this rock golem's obviously permanently awake, you can, even during the night, you can run around the back here and do some shopping, but you do have to be very careful. But certainly seasoned pros like these guys will not be making simple mistakes like accidentally aggroing those creeps. And it looks like Fly gonna do this creeping now, which is so simple to do with just even just one grunt and that Blade Master is your first creeping. It's so obviously lots of these creeps like extra damage from the Infi. Oh, just as I was saying that clearly he wouldn't make that mistake. He runs straight through that that creep camp. Bit careless there by him. He could just run around, but he did manage to buy a boot. Ooh, and a staff of teleportation. Interesting. Where's he staffing to? Staffing not very far ahead. He could have just walked that really, especially with that boot. But it looks like what he wants to do is get in and cancel these bestiaries, but he hasn't managed to. It looks like it's too late to do that. The Shadow Hunter is actually almost out now, so this harassment is going to be shut down a bit. But meanwhile, we are seeing Fly being caught up creeping, so he can't do the harassment or the getting rid of the Archmage that he wants to do to get rid of that harassment. And meanwhile, lots more footmen being brought in now as well. And this is a nice choice here by Infi, because just it's going to slow down Fly a bit. We did notice that Fly went for dual bestiary, and interestingly going for dual bestiary raiders as well. So he's going to be going for some sort of early harassment. He wants to get lots of ensnares off. Obviously, when you see double bestiary, you can occasionally see people go for wyverns. They are wind riders. They are alright actually in this matchup. Just early game before Infi gets his tech going. We can see he's only 2/3 of the way now to tier 2. Meanwhile, and so Fly could clearly do some harassment because there's only basically a water elemental in the Archmage that can hit air as long as you're out of the range of the towers, and there's more than enough sort of peasants and stuff like that you can try and take out. But it looks like that's not the route that we're going to be seeing here from Fly. Fly obviously a very aggressive player. Ooh, picking up some healing wards as well. Those are quite nice, just to, like, if you pop all 3 of them down at once or 2 of them down at once, you can get good effect from them. But obviously if you just put down one at any time, you'll get the same healing, but they'll just be so easy to pick off. But if you put down a couple in different areas, then obviously since Infi has so few ranged units, again just the Archmage and the Water Elemental, it can be hard for those healing wards to be reached, and you do need to take them out. And it looks like we're seeing simultaneously a Great Hall going down for Fly. And look at this, defended footman doing some creeping here. I like this move here by Infi. It's going to get him some experience while he's buying some time. It's going to get him this level 3 on his Archmage as well. And Infi now scouting out this expansion as well. So that's good, very good here for Infi, who's now taking straight to tier 3 as well as getting a Mount King. Nice choice here by him. He looks like he's going for that heavy air strategy that humans have been loving recently. And it works quite well. The one problem, or there's a lot of problems with it really, but as long as he gets his armor upgrades quickly, he'll be okay. Fly's going to be very well set for this, already having 2 bestiaries and an expansion going up, when Infi's not really going to be able to harass it. Meanwhile, Infi losing a lot of footmen here, but they're not too important. And now Infi bringing in his his Archmage to bring in some water elementals, so he can creep out this camp, which is obviously a lot harder to creep than the natural expansions, just because there's that rock golem there. And Belted Giant Strike, nice item there for that Archmage. And has the Mountain King popped out? Yes, the Mountain King has just popped out, and the Blade Master comes in but immediately goes for a bolt there. That's just because that Mountain King was going to be at full mana anyways, so you may as well use that bolt, and then you'll regenerate most of the mana anyway. So the cost of that bolt is probably only going to be 5 or 10 mana, if that. It might even be 0 if there isn't a bolt needed in a while. Anchor Reincarnation here on the Shadow Hunter is doing some nice creeping, but obviously Raiders aren't too good for creeping, but that's why you have all these grunts around. Ooh, he sold the Anchor Reincarnation. Interesting choice there, especially considering that he knows that there's going to be such heavy focus from on heroes from Infi, because he's seen the Mount King, he knows that he's seen the tier 3, he must know that it's going to be a really heavy air strategy, and that's just so good for focusing down single heroes. So I'm very surprised he sold that, but he did it so he could buy a scroll down portal. He does, oh no, his expansion isn't up and running yet, but it's pretty close now, and it looks like Infi going to be setting up a couple towers here, going for another expansion. This is, actually setting up some towers here, so really living up to his reputation, and just going to be maybe expanding everywhere, and that's just going to mean that since Fly isn't too mobile in terms of his army. I mean, his Blade Master is mobile, but the rest of his army isn't too mobile, and this is such a large map that even if Fly can take down one of the expansions, they're so far away from each other that just he's not going to be able to take down the expansions faster than Infi can get lots and lots of money from them and get parity from them. And actually, one thing worth mentioning, just before we get into a huge battle here, is that Infi's now in the Panda clan with Thu. He's left World Elite, and World Elite has actually picked up Ted again, which is sort of a nice little musical chairs situation they have going there. And this Archmage now level 4. Mount King still only level 1, but does have +6 intelligence, as well as the massive mana regeneration from that Archmage, and it looks like we are going to be seeing a bit of an attack here. Nice choice by Fly to try and take down his blacksmith, which is so essential for Infi at this point, because bear in mind, if he does go for that heavy air, he needs those armor upgrades, because otherwise Bat Riders will absolutely destroy him. And it looks like we're going to be seeing a counter attack here by Infi. Very, very smart choice here, because it's so easy just to think I need to defend my base, but that, in honesty, the towers will probably do a good enough job, and if they don't, then you can eventually TP in, but you can do a lot more damage. And I think what we're going to see here is Fly's going to have to TP in first. We did see him buy that TP earlier after having sold it immediately at the beginning of the game. He went on and bought a different one later on, and it looks like there's Blade Master. I like the use of this healing ward, but if Infi notices it, he can obviously take it down with one shot there. He actually uses his peasant to take it down. Very brave peasant there, but looks like this expansion taking a bit of damage. The defend being used so that the burrow doesn't do too much damage, and a couple peons are going to go down now for Fly. And meanwhile, we are seeing a lot of these towers going down, but it just is too much for Fly. He's going to TP back. Yes, he's TPing to this expansion, so Infi's going to have to get out of here, but maybe he's going to be able to take down a couple Raiders. Didn't really need to use that bolt there. That Raider is already at really low health, but it looks like a couple more footmen being ensnared here. But since they are actually, they can turn off defend at this point, because there's no real piercing damage coming in. A bolt goes off, and the surround maybe gonna go get the kill. Yes, he does get the kill there on that Shadow Hunter. Very, very nicely played there by Infi, who's now going to try and take down this Blade Master as well. Goes for a bolt. The Blade Master does just have enough mana. He does 3 mana more than he needs to get a wind block and get away, and he will manage to do it, because they're actually Infi did have a dust, but it looks like the Blade Master didn't cut it close and just decided to run out. Well, he still had 150 health left, and this ragtag remainders of Fly's army is gonna have to run away, and that's really, really nice. Meanwhile, we are seeing expansion going up here. No expansion, but towers are still up there, and it looks like the Blade Master came back in. Paladin being chosen third. Nice choice here by Infi. Such a solid hero combination. And yes, we are seeing some. No, that's a blacksmith. We aren't seeing any Griffin Aviaries yet, because Infi lost that blacksmith. That's a bit unfortunate for him. And so it looks like the Great Hall is now going to take some focus, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill it, because these units are coming back. Yes, the Blade Master is coming back as well. Looks like he will be trying to just maybe focus on a couple of the low units, because focusing on the heroes isn't a good choice. Even the Holy Light does go off on that, and looks like this Grunt will just about manage to get away thanks to Spirit Lake. And meanwhile, this Kodobeast did eat another footman, but again, eating those footmen not too useful. It actually can be occasionally more useful to eat the water elementals, just because they put out so much DPS. And even though, I mean, they're going to go away eventually, they just do so much more damage than a footman ever would. And look at this, one Witch Doctor. I like this in a big game to get this out, but it looks like, oh my god, Fly realizes it's going to die, putting down a second sentry ward, but a dust immediately going off to take down these 2 sentry wards, and that's a smart choice. But I do like the getting the Troll Witch Doctor just while you're sitting at 50 food, which I assume Fly is. Fly is at 48, 50 food. Yes, he is. So I like getting that within the 50 food, because it gives you such good map vision. And we are seeing another expansion attempt here by Fly. Still, I'm pretty sure he's still unaware of this expansion here, and still no expansion attempt here by Infi. And looks like we're going to be seeing a bit more aggression now. And obviously, since there is no tavern, you can't just buy back your Shadow Hunter really, really quickly. That's the other thing I didn't really mention at the beginning here, is that the tavern obviously has 2 uses. One, getting unusual and cool heroes, and second, buying back your heroes quickly, which is so important, especially when you have 3 bases going. You can afford to buy back those heroes. and since you can't do it, that can be really, really bad. And I think actually what now might be a big thing for both players. Infi, presumably, yes, he does have these Griffin Aviators going up now, although it looks like, yeah, he has almost no lumber. He's going to need to get a shredder, and what I was going to say is if the creeping of these camps here is going to be pretty important. I think Fly should be able to get this one, and might even get a creep jack here on this one, because he does have his level 5 invisible Blade Master here with a level 2 windwalk, so he can get that level 3 critical strike. And it looks like this Blade Master is going to do some damage actually to the Archmage instead of trying to steal the creep. Maybe he'll manage to do it. The Raiders are now running in, but the Shadow Hunter is lagging a bit behind.